What's up, you guys? Thank you so much for tuning in. This is the Digital Mindset. I am Vanessa Michelle. That's an awesome intro. By the way, I look pretty good.
I'm Chris. I appreciate you for being here. You excited to talk about some branding with these business owners?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Okay, so today we are giving you guys the 411 on branding and branding development. This is something that me and Chris are really passionate about, as far as showing you guys what it looks like to have a solid brand strategy, design, and so forth and so on. So maybe we should just get into it, kind of get the fluff out, and let's just get straight to it.
Let's dive in.
Yeah?
Let's get it.
So here's the thing. Sometimes we get in contact with businesses and they're like, what is branding? Why does branding matter? Why do I have to spend all these hours on branding and researching and figuring out what my target market is and stuff like that? And one of the main things about branding that a lot of people kind of misconstrue is that branding is the preview of your business. Essentially, it's showing potential customers what you have to offer and what you can expect, from your business. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, and I think it's one thing that business owners don't take enough time to research and really learn, what customers you're talking to, how you're going to build that brand that really makes a good first impression with your customers. I think it's something business owners need to spend more time on, and that's what we're here to talk about is, what you can do to update your brand copy, how you can think about your brand as a strategy as opposed to, hey, let's just throw some things together, and how that all comes together to help you as a business owner and help your business grow. So
right. Yeah, I agree with you. And it's interesting because when I was looking it up online, entrepreneur.com, they define it as the marketing practice of creating a name, a design, and I would include message that identifies and differentiates your product from other products. So it's all about defining who you are, what your mission is, what your design is going to be, and what your strategy is going to be. And that kind of goes with like marketing strategy and stuff like that as well. And so we get asked all the time, why is it important? Why do I have to spend hours upon hours on researching and doing all this other stuff? And it's so that internally and even externally, what you imagine your ideal customer thinking about your product, that research and what comes out of that is a product of that. So if you do ill research, if you're doing 50% of the research on your market, what you want to have in your branding campaign and stuff like that, 50% is going to show when you market to your industry and to your clientele and stuff like that. And they're not going to understand totally that 100% of, okay, what is this business and what is it that they're trying to do? What is it that you're trying to do with your company?
And I think a lot of you business owners are leaving a lot of money on the table by not having your branding, by not having your branding up to date. I'll give you an example. I was speaking with another digital marketing expert, and they were telling me about one of their clients who was running a website. This website on the front page, it had a pretty beefy, manly guy rock climbing a rock wall or rock climbing a rock, and it's for a gym. And the kind of branding that you would think, coming to this website is,
beefy guy,
fit, climbing rocks, doing all this hardcore stuff.
Right.
And here, find out the gym is for women who are 60 pounds overweight. So right there, that's a perfect example of how your brand is not connecting with your audience, and you're missing a lot of sales because of that.
Right. And that's so sad. And it's such a simple fix. I mean, even with that person in particular, they could have easily found a stock image to put on their website that was of a woman who was working out. And I'm not talking about one that looks already fit necessarily, but someone who's in decent shape and they're working out. Boom. And that all has to do with your branding. All those photos that you guys are putting up on your website, it has to be conducive to your brand. And I think this is one issue too, is that sometimes people overthink what their brand should look like. Think about yourself as a consumer. When you have certain brands that you invest in, really consider what that brand does for you. How does it make you feel? If you're going to a store, how does that store make you feel? What colors are you seeing? What vibes are you getting? What kind of messaging do they have? You are a customer, so don't forget that. Think about the things that you want to see as a customer when you make your investments. You know, and that's one thing that I point out a lot with some of our clients is recognizing that you are still a customer as well. Think about that.
Absolutely. And if you want to, that brings up another great point. You know, if you're talking about your brand, you know, we'll go back to this gym again. If this gym was to talk to the customers that are in the gym and say, hey, look at my brand, look at my website, does this convey to you? Does this talk to you? And I guarantee you all of the customers would have told them no. I don't understand why there's a guy on here. I don't understand why he's rock climbing. You know, this website, your branding, whatever it is, does not convey to me. And that will tell you as a business owner, hey, maybe we need to switch up our branding. Maybe we need to gear in on a customer profile to see who we're actually targeting with our brand, and reevaluate that so that you can have more effective branding, more effective marketing all around. And it's going to help you increase those dollars because people will actually know what you do as a company.
Right, right. And I agree with that. One of the really neat things that we're going to do right now, you guys see our Twitter accounts on the sides of us. Go ahead and tweet us if you guys have some questions as we go throughout this talk. There are 3 main points that we want to isolate today so you guys can take it home, review, you know, jot down some notes or send it over to a business owner that you believe needs to hear this. So with brand development, there are 3 pieces. You guys ready? So it's brand messaging, your brand design, which includes your color therapy and arrangement, and we'll get into all of that, and your brand strategy, which deals with the marketing portion of your branding and stuff like that. So right now, we're going to use the hashtag digital mindset, and it's spelled just like it sounds. Go ahead and tweet us, put the hashtag in there. If you guys have any questions as we're talking and stuff like that, and we'll do our best to answer those. So we might as well just go ahead and jump into the brand messaging, kind of like you were saying with that gym. So one of the main things that we point out with businesses is saying, you know, your message. What message do you want to convey to your clientele? What is it that you really want them to know about your brand and about your company? Why did you even get started in the first place? All these questions are really personable questions, but they're essentially going to help you develop what your messaging is, and then within your messaging creates that value. And that's the value that you need to basically show your clientele. And with that person that you were talking about, it's like you just lost what the value could have been because your messaging is incorrect.
Absolutely.
You know.
And that's a great point. You don't want to, you know, you have your customers in there and they're all women, 60 pounds overweight, and someone comes to your website and boom, they're automatically turned off. They don't know what you do, and you're not providing that value, you know, as Vanessa said. You know, where if you were to fix that branding, color up the website a little bit, have some testimonials from your awesome customers on, you know, before and after pictures of I was here, lost 60 pounds, now I'm here. You know, that really speaks to your customer, really identifies your brand. So,
right.
And it's very simple, right? Very simple. Before and after pictures of your customers, they can see it visually through a picture. You know, what you're about, who your customer is, who they're going to be interacting with when they're in a gym. You know, I know one of the big things, you know, you talk about like a Planet Fitness, their branding is, you know, they get you away from all of the gym heads and all the muscle heads, and they really go after the person that doesn't want to work out around people that serious about the gym.
Because it's intimidating.
It's intimidating.
They want to cut down that intimidation. That's the first thing I think about Planet Fitness because of their consistent brand messaging.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're that gym and you're looking for that person, that make sure your branding, make sure that branding strategy, that branding message, and the colors really speak to that customer profile.
Right, right. I like that.
Yeah, the website that we were talking about with the gym, it was black and gray. You know, women like color. You know, I want to use bright colors. You know, things. Well, I mean, what colors would you use just for quick example?
I would want to see like a pink, like a pinkish, maybe like some blues in there, something like really poppy. Something poppy, I would want to see that. And you see how easy it can be, like having those dark colors. It's like, oh, what are they doing? It kind of makes you, it gets you in a certain mood. But if it's poppy, if it's fun, it's like it's engaging. That's what you want to do. You want to engage with your colors and stuff like that. Yeah, but that structure is just, it's sad. It's disheartening. It's disheartening. That's what it is.
And you know, I think one good exercise to use to help find your customer, to help, figure out this brand strategy is, maybe you're in operations, you have 10, 20, 100 customers, pick out of your customers the best 10 customers you have.
Mm-hmm.
This is the ideal customer for our company right here. Put them down on a piece of paper and start writing. They're a 45-year-old female who's 60 pounds overweight. They're subscribed to Cosmopolitan magazine. They're on these websites. They use Pinterest a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Start building this brand profile of your customers, and that will help you during your brand strategy, during your brand messaging, and then you're focusing on your ideal customer. So now we don't get lost. I think a lot of business owners, they have this branding that's fear of missing out. They want to get every business owner, every customer in the market. And you're never going to do that. You're never going to do that.
You might as well isolate it. You might as well get that niche, because you're not going to do that.
Get that niche, be an expert in helping women who are 60 pounds overweight lose the weight and get that great body that they want, and focus on that and just multiply that over and over again.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to bring in the woman that's 60 pound overweight and the 17-year-old male who wants to get bigger for sports, and the 28-year-old male bodybuilder. I mean, that's not cohesive.
Right. Yeah, I love, and you know what? One of the things I really like that you just mentioned too was that brand profile. Write that down. Like, if you guys don't know what a branding profile is, tweet us. Put the hashtag digital mindset, and we will engage with you as far as what that looks like for your company. But a branding profile is perfect. That's something that you want to note. Have that. Put that in your notes right now. Branding profile. And start listing things of what my branding profile would include. Your messaging, just like we talked about, is first. Your design, like we'll get into, is second, and your strategy with the target market and stuff like that, that's third. Write those things down, because it's gonna make it more real. It's gonna hold you way more accountable of your branding development. So let's kind of get into the brand design, because we're kind of hitting on that as we're talking. One of the things that we noticed a lot is that, especially with small businesses, my heart just hurts sometimes, because we see small businesses all the time. They want to use 100 different colors. Then they want to put them in the strangest order of things, and we're like, what are you thinking?
The craziest logos for things that don't apply.
Do not have a lion for a construction company.
You got a Thor shield and a hammer for a cleaning company or something.
Why?
Like, what is going on?
That does not align with the brand. And we see it, and that's why we're here. We wouldn't have our jobs unless people didn't do stuff like that. So I guess that's a good thing.
So we are thankful.
We are thankful.
But we want to help you get it squared away, because it's a big problem, and small business owners all around are having these issues. They have nowhere to turn, nowhere to go. There's tons of information out there on their web. Their brother, sister, uncle, cousin wants to throw ideas at the logo. So here we got 20 different ideas coming at a logo, and then none of them make sense. So it's really about simplicity. I think that's where a lot of small business owners get lost is, they think they have to reinvent the wheel. They got to create this crazy new brand, and they get away from simple.
Yes.
You think about Facebook's icon, Facebook's branding, very simple. YouTube branding, very simple. I mean, Twitter. Look at the little birdie. You got this little bird. Look how simple that is.
Right.
That's easy branding that you're going to be able to remember.
Right, over and over again. And that's kind of the irony behind this whole branding idea, is that you want to keep it as simple for yourself and even for your clientele, because when they think of your brand, you want it to just pop in their heads. You don't want to bog them down with such a disorganized design that they don't remember who you are and what you stand for. And like Chris mentioned Planet Fitness, and I instantly thought of the purple, the bright purple, and that bright yellow that they have, because that's their colors. And it was only two. It's only two colors. And so do me a favor, write this down. With your branding design, isolate two colors that represent your brand, because that'll cut out all that confusion. You won't have all these different things coming at your clients. And one of the biggest things though, even with choosing your colors, choose 2 or 3, but also make sure it it vibes with your brand, essentially. I know that doesn't sound the most professional, but that's what you want to do. Like for instance, this gym, they had a grays and blacks. But if you have a fun, energetic gym, you want those energetic colors. So choose those reds, choose those bright yellows, because those bring out a different feeling for your clientele, and that's going to produce the best result for you. And that's what I believe as far as using your colors. And I know it probably sounds crazy, like, are they talking about colors for 15 minutes? But it matters. Trust me, it matters.
It matters a lot. And you just got to think, you know, if you're going to a gym and you've got black and grays, that's going to appeal to a male. Maybe a corporate male, maybe that gym kind of beefy meathead kind of guy, and that's not your target audience.
Right.
You know, you want colors, purples, pinks, whatever they are, and that's part of your branding. That's part of what's going to help you and your customers know why they're going to come to your gym or your restaurant or your whatever over the next guy.
Right.
Because you know what you're doing, your branding is speaking to them, they are connecting with your restaurant, your business through your branding. And it all works out together and is nice and cohesive.
Right, and even thinking about your logo and your logo being cohesive and stuff like that, we just say, we're not going to get into it too much, but just note that you want your logo to be very simple. Look at these big brands. It's simplicity, just like Chris mentioned earlier. You want to make sure that it's simple so that when someone brings up their phone and they're looking at it, it's easy to come up on your device and it's legible on a small device and stuff like that. You don't want to have it to be too intricate and then people don't really understand what it is that's on their screen. And even when you're looking at responsive design and stuff like that, you don't want to confuse people by having this intricate logo that's not really doing anything at the end of the day. And then you're going to be like, oh man, no one understood my thoughts. Yeah, because your thoughts are hard to understand. So get your logo together, please. Please and thank you. One tip that I give people to a lot is to go on Pinterest. So I know like it's not like a huge like guy thing or whatever, but Pinterest is actually a really good tool just to look at, okay, if you're a cleaning company or if you're a natural care product line or whatever, if you just search on Pinterest those type of logos, you'll kind of see what people do in those fields and what kind of designs that they have and stuff like that. So if you just don't know where to go, I would say use Pinterest. That's a good tool.
I agree. And you know, don't overthink these things, because you know, studying your brand, you can go look at Facebooks, you can go look at big cleaning companies, you know, look in your industry niche and say who's doing it well at a very high level. You know, right? You know, you look at Red Bull, look at all their branding if you're a drink company, and then emulate some of the things that they're doing with their brand. Maybe take a look at their logo, their apps, maybe if they have some apps, and take a look at what kind of, you know, logos they're using for those apps, or what they're doing on their website, or how they're branding their specific emailers, or whatever the case is, and emulate that. You know, a lot of these big companies, they spend a lot of money on R&D, which is research and development, on, you know, what works best with our branding. How do we connect with our customers the most? I mean, they're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and paying people, you know, experts in all these types of different analytics to come up with website design, why it's laid out this way, why the branding looks this way. So use that to your advantage. Use their research and development to your advantage and emulate some of that.
Right. Right. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. We see that often and it never works out.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna bust your bubble like right now. This does not work out. Don't do that. You don't necessarily have to copy, but definitely look at what the pros are doing. They know what they're doing. One thing that's really interesting too when it comes to brand design and stuff like that is the URL. And I know you mentioned a lot about URLs and stuff like that. Can you kind of give them the 411 on URLs and branding URLs and stuff like that?
I mean, if you're thinking about getting a URL, you know, one of the things you want to think, oh, I see a lot of URLs that are way too long, or maybe your company's called Xylophone Marketing and nobody in the world knows how to spell xylophone. So you're not going to want to use that in your .com. You know, you want to think about it, maybe keep it real nice and easy, real clean. You know, for example, if your name's Lavender Cleaning Company, you might go to Lavender Cleaning Co. instead of typing out company. Looks more new age, people know how to spell it, it's very easy, uncomplicated, and it's very easy for people to remember. That's, I mean, it's very easy. I mean, like I said, we don't want to overcomplicate this because, you know, we could be beating a dead horse, but that at the end of the day, it's, you know, think about a smart domain. You know, you look at them, Nike.com, Walmart.com.
Yes.
You know, they don't have Walmart Superstore Center. But there's a reason, because no one's going to type that into their browser.
Right.
You know, simplify, make it easy for people to remember. If all of the URLs are taken and, you know, you just can't find something, think of something easy and fun. I mean, look at Google. What is Google? Does anybody know? No, they don't. But it's very easy. It's very easy to spell, even just listening to it. And then they brand their name over and over again.
Right, and so simple. And even like sometimes we'll see clients that will want like a .ga or a .np just to be unique. Don't do that. .com, .net, if you have to do that.
And one thing, that's a good point, because you got to think, people in today's day and age, they're so worried about web security, right? Mm-hmm. Is this website secure? Are people going to get my information if I go to this website, if I go to that website? You know, people are just getting comfortable with, you know, if you send someone to a .net, they're like, ah, that's a little sketchy. I don't want to go to a .net. I'd rather go to a .com. So when you tell someone go to a .ga, they're like, oh man, what are you about to steal all my credit card information? And then for the next week, they're looking at their fraud reports in their email because they don't know if your website just stole their information. So you got to think, if your website, if your .com is scaring away your clients and your customers,
you've already lost. You've lost.
You're losing out.
That quick. All over a URL.
All over your URL. And that's the strategy part that we talk about that a lot of business owners miss, is they think that, you know, hey, we'll build it and they'll come. And that mindset, you know, doesn't work in today's digital age. There's a million companies out there that are doing the same thing. You have to brand yourself as, why are my customers going to buy from me and my company over my competitor? What makes me unique? What's my unique selling proposition that I give to my clients, to my customers, that differentiate me, and then follow that niche. Don't go after everybody in the world, go after that specific customer. You know, it would be a mistake, we'll go back to this gym again, it would be a mistake for that gym to say, hey, you know, now that we have, you know, all these women that are 60 pounds overweight, you know, now we're going to implement the meathead, you know, the meathead package and get some more meatheads into this gym. You know what would happen to that brand?
It would flunk.
It would destroy from the inside out. The women would stop coming because they wouldn't want to be around that environment. The men would be like, oh, why are these women here? This is weird. I'd rather be with my beef heads.
Right.
And it's just non-cohesive. So you got to think about that. Stick to your niche. Stick to what you do. Brand around that customer and just keep pushing that brand.
Right, and that gets us into our last point, which is brand strategy. That's it. That's it right there. It's about catering to your target audience and nurturing your target audience, listening to their voices. What is it that they want? Because one of the things that some businesses don't think about is the development of your business once you get the clientele. So say you're looking to get women who want to drop 60 pounds and you have this group of amazing, 100 members. And if you're so busy thinking about, well, now I want to cater to, beefy guys who are trying to get in the gym, then you've isolated the portion of people that you have now committed yourself to, and they're not getting what they need, because what happens if their needs increase? What if you have clients who are like, man, you know what, I love investing into this gym. Can we have a sauna? Can we have a pool here? Can we have certain things? You can't even provide those things because your mind is too focused on, oh, we got to market to these new people now that we have. Do not do that. Do not do that. You're going to miss the whole strategy, the whole development period. And we see that happen. We see that happen a lot. So your strategy is so important. Cater to who your target market is and your target audience. One of the things that I do is I'll go online for new clients or whatever. I'll go online, even Instagram or something, and I'll look up the hashtag. So let's just say a client's like, well, I don't know where my target market is. Well, use your socials. Go on Instagram, type in a hashtag. If it's cleaning business or cleaning or whatever, type that in. See who's engaging with that type of a hashtag, and then you can kind of see what your clients do, how they interact online, what are their normal needs, and that could become a service in turn. But if you're not doing that type of research, you'll never know. And then what is your branding strategy if you're not doing those types of things? And people miss that all the time. And I'm like, it could be so simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Just do something as simple as that, and you'll be able to isolate your target audience, and then that will help you to create the strategy that you would need to be most effective. Yeah.
And you know, I think one thing that business owners miss out on is to develop this branding strategy. Use your customers to help you do it. Again, you know, I say earlier, take your 5, your 10 best customers, put them on a piece of paper, and then call them even and say, hey, take a look at my branding. What do you think? Ask them their opinion. People love to give you their opinion. Those are your best customers, and they'll tell you your thoughts. If all 10 people end up telling you the same thing about your branding, that gives you a very good indication that, maybe I should change a color. Maybe we should change our copy on our website, or you know, how it reads, or maybe we should do this or that differently. So, you know, don't be scared to reach out to your customers and ask them, you know, how can we get better as a brand? How can we help you guys, you know, see us better? Or, you know, what are we doing that would, you know, impress you? And they'll tell you.
They'll be honest. Just be ready for the honesty.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good. Which is good.
If you're not good at taking honesty and constructive criticism, maybe you shouldn't call your customers, because if you're hanging up on them and cursing them after they tell you what they think, it might be counterproductive. But if you know, if you got some, you know, customer service in you and you know how to talk to someone, call them up, see what they think, get their opinion, and that's part of business strategy or branding strategy right there. Is, you know, figuring out my customer and branding towards their needs.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And that kind of wraps up our point here, where it's the branding messaging, the branding design, okay, and then the branding strategy. If you guys have any questions about that, please let us know. Go ahead and use the hashtag digital marketing mindsets. And with that, I think we're all good. I think we're good to go. Please let us know if you guys have any questions. We want to be able to help you. We want to be hands-on with you. Take those actions and implement them.
Yeah. Okay. And share this stuff with your audience. I mean, we're going to be coming back, Digital Mindset, every Friday, right around 5:30. So tune in every week. It's going to be live on our Facebook, on our YouTube. So check it out on there. Infinite Media Resources is the company it's under on YouTube, on Facebook. So make sure you share that. Come back, tweet us. We're both on LinkedIn as well. So we're on all the platforms you can find us on. We'll help you get your questions answered. We'll help you fix your branding, and we'll be a go-to for you when it comes to digital marketing and building your business. So
awesome. We need like a cool like something when we like go out or something. I don't know. We gotta think about something. We gotta get that together. We gotta get that together.
And we'll see you guys next time.